This is going to be a little bit different than my usual video, but I wanted you to have some examples of solving one-step inequalities before you did today's uh, assignment in class notebook. They're going to look pretty similar. You're actually trying to find the answers that make the inequalities true. These are one-step inequalities, so I'm going to do some examples for you, and then you're going to go into class notebook and do the rest. And there is a form you need to submit today. So practice finding one-step inequalities. What we need to do is it's going to look the exact same as when we solve equations, one-step equations. So when I see that the operation here is going to be subtracting, I do the inverse. I am going to have to add to both sides. So to get x all by itself, to isolate the variable, I have to add 87.5 to both sides. What I do to one side of the inequality, I do to the other. When I get the solution, I actually have x, this cancels it out, so it isolates the variable, is less than or equal to 99.8. Now, if I was to graph that, I would do a colored, I would close the dot at 99.8, and I would actually shade to the left-hand side, the less than, the numbers that are going to be less than. In the assignment today, what they want you to do is identify answers or solutions that make this, the original inequality, true. So 51.5 is actually less than 99.8. It's to the left. Negative 34 is less than 99.8. Any negative number is going to be less than 99.9. That would be to the right of 99.8. That is not less than or equal to. So that is not a solution. I'm not going to color it in or select it. 98 is actually less than. 101, that's going to be bigger. So it is not a solution that makes this inequality true. 73, it's an answer. 99.8, it is an answer because of that equal sign. And if I look at my graph, I colored in the dot. That is a solution for this inequality. 124, that would be to the right of your answer. That is not a solution, but 0 is a solution. So you're going to have similar problems on your homework. Let's try another one. Here we go. X over 5, that's division, right? This is going to be, when we see a fraction, we know it's dividing. So we need to multiply both sides by 5. Here's how I show my work, right? Just a dot. I'm going to multiply by 5. Now I have x is all by itself. I leave my inequality to greater than, and I'm going to actually get negative, because I have a negative and a positive, 11.5. So if I was to graph this solution, I would have an open dot at 11.5, 11 and a half, and I would shade to the right. Now I need to look at all the options they gave me and pick the solution. Is negative 6 going to be to the right of negative 11? Well, negative 6 is getting closer to 0. It is in this solution. Negative 11.5 is actually equal to, but I do not have a colored in dot. It doesn't make this equation true. This is not a solution. But negative 4.5, that is just a little bit closer to 0 than negative 5, 11.5, so it is a solution. Negative 18 on the number line, remember to the left is less. This is not a solution. 82, it is. 0, it is, right? 66, anything positive is going to be greater than negative 11.5. But if it is negative, I have to look of where it lies. Is it going to be to the left? Yep, negative 10 is. Negative 12 is not, nor is negative 74. So you are going to, in your answers, solve your one-step inequalities and then pick the solutions. I have one more example for you, and I put a big star because what we learned yesterday is if I am multiplying or dividing by a negative number, I have to flip the inequality to make it true. because there is a negative 6 times x, to get rid of that numerical coefficient, I divide both sides by negative 6. Now I have x is actually, the answer becomes negative 50. The signs change, right? Because I'm dividing by a negative. I have to flip the inequality. So my answers that are going to make this original inequality true is going to be when x is greater than negative 50. Oops. So I would shade in this direction. Ah, okay. Sorry. Technical glitches. And now my pen doesn't work. You're going to shade to the right of the negative 50. This way. There we go. In class, this wouldn't matter. On a video, it's so weird. All right, we're going to, x is greater than negative 50. It's an open dot because we do not have that equal sign. And we had to flip the inequality when we divide or multiply by a negative. All right, now I am looking for all of the answers that would be to the right of this. Negative 73, and if you think about negative 73 times negative 6, that's going to be positive. That makes it a positive, really big number. That's not going to be less than 30 because when I have two negatives, it became positive. Negative 73 is not an answer. Okay, negative 36 is going to be less than 300. It's also in your graph, you can see it's to the right of negative 50. So is negative 41 and negative 32. Zero is always a good one to check. Negative 6 times 0 is 0. Is that less than 300? Yep. So you know you graphed it and you know you got your inequality right. All right. Negative 42.4 is also to the left, right? Because it's smaller, it's greater than negative 50, but this one is going to be to the left, so this is not an answer. Negative 49.98, that is getting closer to 0. That's an answer. Negative 62 and negative 55 are not solutions in this case. All right, when you go to class notebook, what you're going to see is the examples that you were given. And at the bottom of the page, you can see it maybe, there's a form that you are going to have to do. And you're going to fill in, let's see if I can't. Oh, there it is. There's a form you're going to see, and it's going to be similar to the questions that you have in your assignment. All right. So solve for your equations, then find your solution.